Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Beachcomber. Another very popular G1 character, Beachcomber has always been super fun. For the packaging, much like all of the Legacy Evolution figures, you have the nice Transformers text. You have the Generation logo, you got the open window, which I talked about this before. I thought they were getting rid of that, but whatever. You have the Transformers Legacy Evolution logo right down here. Cool image of him in his Doom buggy. The top section here has that little QR code sort of thing that you can scan and get the bio and such on them. Come around to this side, you got an up-close image of them and a more pullback image. Because when you come around to the other side, you got other figures that are in the current Legacy Evolution line. And look, oh look. Plastic-free packaging. Again, you can do the plastic-free packaging by not even having that there and just have the art. It's weird. Come around to the back. You can see Evolution. He holds his gun. And then he transforms in only 11 steps, which is a very low number for a deluxe figure. But realistically, a lot of these kind of mini-bots don't have a lot that they really need to get very accurate vehicle and robot modes. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Beachcomber opened up out of his packaging and obviously in his dune buggy mode. And I absolutely love this guy. It really doesn't take much to create a very accurate representation of Beachcomber in terms of vehicle mode or even robot mode. But they did a really good job here. Obviously, as you can see, it's a very classic look for him. You got the blue, you got the gray. One thing that's very interesting is he's got real rubber tires, which I don't know if they've done that in a deluxe figure in quite a long time. But I feel like because of this figure being as simple as he is, they had to add some extra things to him, and I feel like some of the budget went towards putting in rubber tires for him. And I guess that makes sense, you know, as a dune buggy, he drives around on sand, so, you know, hey, let's give him rubber tires so that he has better traction if you're playing with him. I don't know. But all the way around, very, very cool. Now, he does have that whole Evo Fusion thing here, which basically just means that this section here, which is his grill right now, can remove and become his gun. Evo Fusion! Ka-chow! You just put that in there, and he is now fused with his gun. Okay. But also, he's got his little parakeet, which this is absolutely adorable. In the episode of the Golden Lagoon, kind of the quintessential episode that featured him, he discovered kind of a secret area where it was beautiful, lush. They had not been interfered with humans or anything like that. And this bird was super trusting and came up to him and sat on his shoulder. And one thing that's amazing about it is the detail on there. I don't know how well that's going to show, but they actually have painted detail on his eyes and such. That is absolutely amazing. This is a softer rubber piece, and you can see that the molded section down here is the little peg for him. So you got a couple different options. All these different little peg holes in here. You can just literally just take this and just like shove it in there, and you can have him sit there. But he can also sit on his shoulder, which I'll show here in the actual, I'm dropping stuff, in the actual robot mode as well. Now, we did get one, I don't remember if this was the Power of the Primes or Titan's Return, I can't remember. But this is the one that's been in my collection for however long, and you can see that it's very similar, just much smaller. I do actually kind of like the blue on this a little bit better. It's a little bit lighter. This is probably a little bit more accurate, I would say, but I don't know. I think I like the lighter blue. I also like the Autobot logo there. Now, I have an Autobot logo here, but you do have that area where the logo would be. But all the way around, very similar in terms of the look and the design. And transformation is really not that much different, honestly. I do think he cleans up a little bit. Why do I keep dropping him? It just kind of closes off a little bit better. You can kind of see there's some gapping right there, whereas this one really doesn't have anything except for here. But this whole area here kind of cleans up a little bit nicer, obviously, as well. This is still a really good figure, but this definitely scales better. Bringing in another recent deluxe figure that I took a look at, here is Brawn, and you can see that Brawn is a little bit smaller of a guy, so, I don't know, I feel like that's a little bit more scaled properly in terms of vehicle mode. Either way, it works. I'm happy with it, and honestly, I feel like the scaling is meant to be more accurate in the robot mode form. So transformation, really very, very simple on this guy. We're going to separate this, kind of get that away, and then you can kind of loosen these little seats on here. They do tab down, and then you want to just kind of pull the arms away like that, and then take this entire section, and then, oh, sorry, come around here to the bottom. You have these little flaps that open. Get that like that, and then extend him at the knee all the way down. You can go ahead and split that right there, and then take this entire section here, and this is going to collapse up. Make sure you push that as far up as you can so that it creates, oh no, sorry, you want to keep that there. And then push this up as far as you can so that this is as flat as possible. So give a good little push to get that all the way there. So you have that, fold this up, push that all the way up there. Now at least when you have him stand, he's going to be flat-footed, which is good, because otherwise this would kind of like push him forward. So like I said, just keep that all the way up. And you can see extremely simple transformation on this guy. And then take this back section, you're going to rotate this down and then collapse that down. And there he is. And that's it. You're done. And I transformed him that entire time with this little bird on him. But you can see the transformation is ridiculously simple on him, and very similar to what we got with this guy. A lot of this stuff is very similar. That, boom, and then that, wait, hold on, get that, and then that collapses down. So all of that, and you could just see I just transformed them both at the same time. But when you're done, I mean, regardless, you have an extremely accurate representation of them. Like I said, it doesn't really take a lot to get a accurate representation of Beachcomber, because he's a very simplistic character, both in terms of the design of the cartoon and the toy. And it works very nicely. It does very much remind me of the Transformers animated figures when they first came out. They have a very cohesive look between the transformation of the toy and the actual cartoon. But there you have them, looking phenomenal. And like I said, realistically, this guy doesn't need a lot to be successful as Beachcomber. And they really did a terrific job with him. The overall detail on him is extremely well done. You do have a subtle silver paint here in the chest, nice Autobot logo there. I get why they didn't put one here, even though that they put the little space, because in robot mode, it would look odd. And again, a lot of these figures, I feel like they're really trying to go with a more kind of accurate robot sort of look for him. As you can see, he can hold this gun perfectly fine there. If you also want to come around here to the back and like kind of store it here, guess you could. If you don't do, there's different holes there that you can plug it into. But this is where, I don't know how I feel about this, but that giant post that pegs into his vehicle mode sticks out right there, because there's little peg holes here that fit in a hole underneath. I wish there was a whole hole there so it could sit all the way down. But what you can do, I kind of like doing this. Now, granted, he didn't really do this in that episode, but you have a peg hole right here that you can take this and you can put that in. And if you get it in there right, there we go. You can do something like that, and that looks a little bit better, in my opinion. And you can still have the little parakeet or parrot or whatever right there, which I think is cool. I like it. I love the head sculpt on this guy. The visor, everything about that head is just absolutely Beachcomber. I mean, coming in to take a real close look at that. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic. Big giant sunglasses on him. Squared off headpiece. Really very cool. You got, like I said, the real nice detail there in his chest. A little bit of silver, blue, and red there in his abdomen area. Could they have added a couple extra paint details? Sure. But it doesn't really bother me all that much. One thing that's very interesting is that the arm here, you can see that he's got this big giant outer section that covers up his hands. They still, and it's really hard to get to, they still managed to actually put a swivel on his wrist. So you can rotate that around if you want to. So that's interesting in terms of the overall articulation on the guy. But for comparison, let's get going here. Obviously, get his legs situated again. Those little back pieces do make things a little bit tricky, but you have that little ankle tilt there, so you can get him to stand right there. And here is that Legend 1 or Core Class, whatever it is. And again, really not a lot that's different between them other than the size. And you're not wrong in either one that you want to go with. Both look absolutely phenomenal. I actually kind of like that they have the silver paint in here on his hand, kind of separates it. Maybe if they did that a little bit there as well, or a different color, blue or something, that would be cool. But let's do another comparison to a more modern figure, and obviously that being Braun, who I had right here. And again, even though that Beachcomber in terms of vehicle mode looked a little bit bigger, Braun actually is a little bit taller, not including that back piece, but at the head, it's a hair taller. But it works, because again, they're mini bots, so they all stand very, very beautifully together. Now, like I was talking about with this articulation, the head here is actually on a ball joint, so you actually do get a little bit of up and down, and then left and right. But it does get limited because of the shape of it. So it's only really going about 45 degrees. It doesn't do a full side-to-side tilt. But if you wanted to, you can rotate him at the waist and get more of a rotation there, which is nice to see. You have ball joints here at the shoulders. You have a swivel at the upper part of the bicep. Nice, a little bit more than 90-degree bend at the elbow itself. Like I said, the wrists are actually articulated, which is cool. I mean, it's a deluxe figure, so it makes sense. They have a higher budget, so putting that in there in addition to the actual rubber tires, really nice touch. Especially since, like this deluxe, his wrists didn't rotate. I mean, they hinged in and out, but that was just kind of part of the transformation. So that's nice to see. The waist, as you can see, does rotate. The hips move forward and back, in and out, rotates at the upper part of the thigh, bends at 90 degrees here at the knee itself, and then the ankles do have that tilt. And I do still kind of wish that they would have the little filling in parts. They've kind of gotten away from that. They've been leaving in the ankle tilt, but they get that filling section that a lot of figures have been doing removed. But really very nice. Cleans up beautifully. You can see like real no back kibble or anything like that. Just extremely, extremely well done and simple, and works for the most part. Now, to transform him back, you literally just kind of straighten things up, take his head, straighten that, and then the chest piece right here, you're going to extend that up just like that. Make sure you get all the way up. It will lock into place. And then come around here to the back, fold this out like so, and then come down here to the feet. You're going to extend that all the way out, push that all the way forward, push that up, and then open that. Do that on this side as well. Get all that opened up, just like that. And then you connect these two halves, and then bend here at the nail, or you can do that however you really want to. Just kind of bend them, and then sandwich everything together right there. And then you have to attach those, and bring this all the way around. And then these little seats actually tab down and lock into this area here. So you just make sure that you find that. There we go. And then bring this in, and this will lock with that front section. There we are, just like that, just like that. Again, make sure that those stay pushed down, and then fold this down. Now, these arm pieces are a little bit tricky. You got a little tab section on the inside here that slots in there. You can kind of line that up. It's hard to see. And then you have a little tab on the inside here that locks on the inside of that area. But it is tricky to kind of see where that is. So just get that there, and then kind of pull this away. There we go. So that's that. Something like that. There we go. All right, let's try it on this side. That's there. And then pull this away. Kind of sit that in there. There we go. Squeeze all that. Again, make sure that those little tire or the seat sections stayed in. And then just to kind of round things out, Evo Fusion! Evo Fusion! You got the little tabs on the bottom. And fused! No, wait, something like that. Did I do it upside down? No, that's right. So, there you go. Get that on there. Fused! You got his grill right there. But, all in all, absolutely terrific. Really very fun. Very easy to transform. Very similar look for robot mode and vehicle mode to his actual cartoon counterpart. So this guy is high on my list. I am really quite impressed with how they did him and how he actually turned out. This is, without a doubt, a grand slam home run, in my opinion. They nailed everything about him, and I could not be happier with how this guy turned out. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Beachcomber. If you'd like to add this guy to your collection, he is available right now at various retail locations. Or as always, you can do the real simple thing and go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, or even Entertainment Earth. For all of those places, I'll put links right down there in the video description, where you can swing on by and check out availability on him, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. Also, don't forget that as a special bonus for you viewers of mine, if you choose to use that link to go to Entertainment Earth, in addition to being able to get free shipping on orders over a certain amount, you can also save yourself 10% off of any in-stock order that you place, helping to help you save some money and at the same time show your support for my channel. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. As always, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in and watching, and until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen.